Hi friends, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that might be new here, hi, welcome. My name is Megan. I'm just your average thrifty bargain hunter turned full-time reseller, and recently I started documenting my journey here on YouTube, and I'm so glad to have you. Today we have a what sold video where I share with you 20 of my most recent sales across multiple different platforms. Today in particular, we're going to chat about Poshmark, eBay, and Depop. If that sounds interesting, please do consider subscribing. And before we get into it, if you want to help my channel in the YouTube algorithm by leaving a comment, but you don't know what to comment, you can go ahead and leave this emoji. So let's get right into it. Let me adjust my camera. I don't know why it's moving like that. Hold on. If you are new here, I will put a picture of the platform we are chatting about somewhere on the screen so you don't have to remember the whole time I'm chatting about it. Also, I will pop a photo of the item that I'm talking about on the screen in case one, I didn't put it in a haul, or two, maybe you missed it. So we're going to start with Poshmark. And I do want to say one of the sales that I shared with you last week, the Barbour, I think it was called the Bead Nell jacket. I got a return request open for that jacket because the person said there was a smell and they couldn't get it out, and it even got on their other clothes. And I let them know that all coated canvas and wax jackets have an odor. It's like not a flaw to the garment, they just have an odor. And to my shock and surprise, Poshmark sided with me. And normally I don't respond to return requests like that when it's like, oh, this is smelly. Like I got another one this week as well. What detergent did you use to wash this shirt? I've washed it twice and I can't get this smell out, and it smells like a cover up for smoke. So I didn't respond to that because, like, what am I going to say? So you don't smell smoke, you smell detergent, and you don't like it? Like, I don't. So I usually don't respond, especially on Poshmark, because Poshmark, that's what I'm paying them my 20% fee for. They handle all my customer service aspects when it's not a mistake that I've made. If it's a mistake I made, obviously I'm going to respond to you and, you know, try to make it right. Usually I don't respond if, to me, it just feels like I'm going to be arguing with this person. But I did decide in this case for some reason to be like, hey, you know, all coated canvas jackets have an odor. It's not an issue with the garment. And like I said, Poshmark sided with me, which blew me away, because if you're a reseller, you know basically that someone opening a return request for you for a smell is almost guaranteed the buyer's going to be sided with. And so I'm very surprised it didn't happen. Anyway, first Poshmark sale I have to share with you. Patricia Nash Leopard London Leather Satchel Bag. It sold for $85 and I will make $68. Let me scoot over a tiny bit too so I can put the things on the screen a little better. Oy. Next Poshmark sale I have to share, 20 Montreal wool blend plaid long line trench coat in gray and black. It sold for $114 and I will make $103. Then I sold this Patagonia organic cotton Leighton cord jacket, corduroy shacket in mushroom, size medium. It sold for $90 and I'll make $80. Next, I sold a pair of Levi's vintage orange tab 517 fit jeans, medium wash, straight leg, USA made, size 29-34. These actually sold in like 30 minutes, which shocked me. They sold for $40 and I will make $35. We love that. Vintage military quilted liner jacket in green, size small. This sold for $20 and I will make $16. A Vince merino wool alpaca blend ribbed oatmeal sweater, flare sleeve, size small, sold for $40 and I will make $35. Poshmark sale I have to share is actually a brand new to me brand, and considering how quickly it sold and for how much it sold for, perhaps it's a bolo. You'll have to let me know if you've had any experience with this brand, how it's performed for you. Jack Archer Jet setter tech pants in charcoal, size 34-34. They sold for like $10 off my asking price, and in one day they sold for $55, and I will make $44, so we love that. Again, the brand is Jack Archer. I've never heard of that brand before, but when I felt them in the bins, they were giving very much Lululemon like commission pants, so I was like, okay, we'll look these up, and I'm glad I did. And we are going to move into Depop. But before we get into the Depop sales that I have to share, I do want to chat with you for a minute. I was actually on my YouTube homepage, I believe, last week, a video. It was a reselling couple, I believe. And essentially, long story short, their video was very recent, and it was about them listing a pair of vintage Gucci boots. I think it was Gucci boots that they found at the bins on Depop. So they bought them secondhand at the bins, and this listing was flagged as inauthentic, and essentially their account, their Depop account, they were banned. And they were like, okay, no problem, we'll just pay to have this item authenticated and prove to Depop that we're not selling fake items on their platform. And it'll be, no problem. We'll get it fixed. We'll get it sorted out, No. Depop does not care. Apparently, secondhand authenticators don't mean anything to Depop. So you have to have the actual, hard copy receipt from the brand for designer items on Depop. So with all of that being said, that very much so scared me, because I am doing well on Depop. Depop is not my number one platform, but it is slowly creeping up there, and I do not want to risk not being able to sell on Depop. So in an abundance of caution, I took every single designer item off of Depop, because that scared me so bad. And I do remember I couldn't find it though. After I watched that YouTube video, I searched through my emails, because I remember, I want to say maybe it was 3 months ago now, I got an email like that from Depop saying they removed a listing of mine because it was flagged as an inauthentic item. And it was a weird thing. And I was just like, okay, that's weird. But I just never paid it. I was just like, okay, I won't relist that item, no problem. But now I'm very worried, and I think I'm even going to be very cautious of listing high dollar items, even if they're not technically like a designer item. Like I took the Windward, the leather jacket that I found the other day, the vintage moto jacket, off of Depop. It's not technically a designer item, but it's the highest price listing I would have on Depop, and I don't know. That just scares me. I would really hate to lose Depop as a platform. So, have you had that happen? Have you had any emails from Depop saying they removed an item that personally is real, and they flagged it because it was a fake or inauthentic item or anything like that? I don't know. Would love to know your thoughts on that. Anyway, with that being said, I did pretty well on Depop last week. The first Depop sale I'm going to share with you, Lucia Lukin Vintage 90s Broom Skirts Plaid Patchwork Maxi Skirt, green and red. It sold for $47, and I will make $40. Sold this Malco Modes Vintage Petticoat Underslip Crinoline 2-layer white slip skirt. It sold for $35, and I will make $30. And this had so much attention on Depop. So much attention. The next sale I have, Levi's Vintage 505 Made in USA Light Wash Straight Leg Jeans. Sold for $38, and I will make $35. Then I sold this was interesting. So I woke up, I listed this. The next morning I woke up to this offer on Depop, and then the same offer actually from the same user on Poshmark. And had I accepted the offer on Poshmark, I would have lost out on almost $20. So I accepted the offer on Depop, and I sold this Masters 2024 Tournament white and green rope golf hat, men's Augusta Nationals. It sold for $60, and I will make $57. And that sold, like I said, it sold overnight, so that was wonderful. The next Depop sale I have to share, I have to make mention of this first. This is number one, I think, number one. Yeah, one of 6 items I sold last week that were purchased that I sourced knowing they were damaged. I picked them up knowing they had substantial flaws and listed them with the substantial flaws, and they still sold. This Aviator Nation jacket sold for pretty cheap, but you'll see why in a minute. Aviator Nation striped hoodie in gray, zip up, size large. It sold for $24 and I will make $22. And this jacket had like 4 or 5 holes, like one of them being like this big to the front, like left hand side of it. Also the entire zipper pull, like the entire, not just like the little tassel that you grab onto to move the zipper, but the entire zipper pull itself was missing. And this sold, first of all, this had so much interest. I got a message on eBay, what's the lowest you would take? I think somebody asked me on Depop, or on Mercari rather, to put it on hold until Tuesday. And I think it had like 9 likes on Poshmark, and I believe it sold in 48 hours. And like I said, it sold for $24 and I make $22. Is that astronomical? No. Will I take that all day long from the bins? Absolutely. And then the last Depop sale I have to share is also a damaged item. Invader Zim vintage Y2K graphic hoodie in black and purple, hot topic. It sold for $50 and I will make $47. And the damage to this item wasn't too terrible, but somebody did like noticeably take scissors to like the neckline and like make it a V-neck, even though it wasn't supposed to be a V-neck. And this also had a lot of attention. This had a lot of attention on Poshmark, Mercari, and on here on Depop, and I don't think I noticed on eBay, but this didn't take very long to sell. I think I can tell you how long it took to sell. Hold on. Yeah, it sold the same day I listed it, so I will definitely take that all day long. And honestly, that was like a gamble pickup for me because I recognized that graphic, that cartoon from like when I was a kid. So I was like, oh, this is definitely a Y2K thing, and probably it has the Hot Topic crowd, and yeah, it had a lot of attention. Okay, now we're going to move on to eBay and the remaining sales that were flawed. One of them being this jacket, Arbor Orvis Alex Ashby wax jacket in dark navy blue, size large. This had 3 holes. They weren't like all the way through the entire like full sleeve, but like they were through the first like layer of canvas, and you could see like the lining that was inside. It had 3 holes on one sleeve, and this jacket still sold for $120 and I'll make $105. And I almost left this at the bins because I noticed the holes, but I was like, oh, it's a collab, it's Barbour and it's Orvis. It's the barn jacket, you know, the quintessential in style chore coat, farm jacket, workwear jacket that's so popular this fall, winter. And it sold pretty quick with those flaws. So it made me very happy when it sold so quick, especially because it had those flaws. Next item with a flaw, the Hundreds Cool World 2012 collaboration chambray collared button-down shirt. The damage wasn't like terrible on this. It had 1 button missing. One of the main buttons for this button-up shirt was just completely missing. This, though, was another collab. It was the Hundreds with Cool World, which I guess Cool World is a animated series, animated movie. I'm not exactly sure, but with the Hundreds, which is a brand. And this sold for $52 and I will make $44. Then another sale with a flaw, the North Face thermoball jacket in black, size extra large. This had, again, not an all the way through hole, but it had like, oh, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Had 3 like partially through holes to the jacket, 1 on the body and 2 on the sleeves. This still sold for $66 and I will make $57. Then another item with a flaw, Lauren Ralph Lauren faux suede shacket, barn jacket, chore coat in chocolate brown. I loaded that title with all the keywords, boy. Faux suede, shacket, barn jacket, chore coat, chocolate brown. Literally every single word except for the brand name is a keyword, fall trend. This sold very quickly, and the flaw on this one, the stitching to one of the pockets on the front side had like come undone like approximately like an inch or so. So it wasn't, again, not terrible, but definitely had a flaw to it. And I noticed it when I bought it, and I still purchased it that way. It sold for 65 and I will make 55. And I think this took maybe 2 days to sell. So we love that. Also, somebody else on eBay had that exact same jacket, in the exact same size that I had, but I would say that my photos were better and perhaps my title was better. And I priced mine for $30 more than they had theirs listed at. Next eBay sale, Laura Ashley vintage 90s black button front swingy dress in ditzy floral size 12. This sold for 53 and I will make 44. And then the last eBay sale I have to share, Lily Pulitzer 100% cashmere waterfall cardigan in blue, size extra small. This sold for 45 and I will make 37. So yeah, that's it. If you guys want to let me know in the comments below, would you source items that have flaws? Do you source items that have flaws knowingly? Like, I know sometimes, you can't help but to miss something and you see it when you get home or when you're steaming or whatever, but especially if you're a binge shopper, because I feel like if you're at the regular retail store, it's a lot harder to say yes to things with flaws. But all of those things that I mentioned, all 6 of those sales that had flaws, they were all bins items. But let me see, 1, 2, 3, every single one of them I haven't had for more than a month. So I'm not sitting here telling you, don't come at me next week and be like, Megan, you told me to buy things that were damaged and they would sell, and they're not selling. I'm just saying simply that people still do buy damaged things. Just because it's damaged doesn't mean it's trash. Okay, I'm gonna let you go now. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to watch more like it, you can check out this playlist that I made just for you. And as always, if you took the time to watch this video and you spent your social media currency with me today, I so appreciate you. And if you wouldn't mind just hitting like on the way out, that would be awesome. See you next time, friends. Bye.